how's it feel to be coming back to the old alma mater, CHS band room?
Man, it feels like I never left.
Oh yeah.
It feels like it, yep. This is where I first started to really get to play jazz. I played in a jazz band and I got sent away a couple of times with Miss Francis to the States. And I've been playing ever since.
Earlier today you was talking about your musical upbringing, and you started off on the clarinet and then you ended up on the bass. Tell us a little bit about how that transition happened.
That transition was a very funny one for me because it happened in middle school. I remember I got a little bit jealous at a friend of mine who got to play bass and I didn't get to play it. I was like, I love this instrument so much. I hear it in the back of the band room and I wish I was making those sounds, not that person. So as a result, I picked it up. I asked my dad to buy me a bass and he got me a bass, a 5-string bass from the Electronics Unlimited. A very inexpensive bass that
You wrecked it.
wrecked it. I actually have it in the house and it's a mess. But I don't want to throw it away because it was my first bass.
Right.
And it means a whole lot to me. So
You'll fix it up one day?
I'm gonna do it myself.
Okay.
Once I learn how to fix basses, I'll just take the time and fix it. And so it started in middle school and it was fostered by teachers here because there was not a whole lot of opportunities for me to play.
Right.
But teachers created opportunities for me to play Miss Donadelle, so I played in Avani Durkin Jazz Band in middle school. So how or when did you fall in love with jazz?
Well, I've always loved jazz. I grew up, I didn't have music per se in the house. My father loved music, and he didn't live with us And every time I go and spend time with him, he would take me around. Sparky's on the waterfront was one of the happening spots back then in the 70s, and I was 6 years old. And I think my first biggest influence or inspiration into pursuing music was going to Sparky's on the waterfront and listening to John Lucien and Billy Harrigan, John from here. And I used to go there with my father and, just hang out all night. And my uncle, Alan Canton, used to play a lot of different types of music, a lot of Latin jazz and other types of music in their house. So I used to go there and just sit with him, and he would play his record collection. I used to look forward to hearing that. And I think the other big thing was when I was in high school, the Rutgers University jazz professors came to the Virgin Islands. A gentleman by the name of Dr. McClellan, who is a retired professor from Berkeley School of Music. He used to run the program here at UVI, and I used to attend that program in high school in the concert band and the jazz band. And I was in 9th grade, so this was like 1982, 81, 82, and he brought the Rutgers University jazz professors down to do a concert. And it was Kenny Barron on piano, who became one of my professors, Larry Ridley on bass, who became one of my professors, Philly Joe Jones on drums, Ted Dunbar on guitar, who was also one of my professors, and Frank Foster on tenor sax. And I've never heard music performed live that intricate, but that loose, that flowing. It was so many different levels moving, but I understood it like from the beginning. I didn't know what they was doing, but it made sense. I was like, wow, okay, you can hear the bass, you can hear the piano, everything complemented each other. I didn't know how it worked, but I think that was the most defining or definitive time for me to say when I just made a decision like, this is what I'm gonna do.
My first relationship with Dion Parson, I was transferred to Charlotte Amalie High School in Dion's senior year. My intent was to be the best band director that I could be. Dion had particular talents that was already in place. They were doing a number of things. They had their own little jazz group. But my first duty for Dion was to help him get through becoming a member of the McDonald All-American Band. But that was my first year and actually his last year. So there was stuff in place. It was just for me to facilitate as much as possible to help him get through his senior year and to get where he wanted to go. There's a commitment to want to serve. I always felt that I wanted to serve my community and do the best that I could for my community. I'm passionate about teaching, and I think Dion shares that same passion. He has developed his passion and commitment to a level that I couldn't because of all of his performing experiences abroad. I support willingly. I remember there was an afternoon I was speaking to him and Dion Donadell. And I said to them, I said, listen, I've done my part. Now the torch is for you guys to run with it.
We used to stay after school. We started a jazz band on our own. Me, Kelly Charleswell, Cleve Malone, Derek Roebuck. A whole bunch of us used to stay after and just practice. We used to listen to recordings and just, hey, get your part, get my part, and we just listen to stuff over and over and over until we figure it out. That's how the jazz band started. Our friends would just come and peep in and check us out. And it's like, after a while, he was like, okay, if you get it together for like,
That's the best part.
yeah, he's not the fun. So Vincent would peep in and listen to us. He's like, okay, you know what? If you get it together, I'll put you guys on the spring concert.
So they didn't have a jazz band?
And I'm a jazz band. We just used to stay after school till hours, He was like, you can stay as long as you want. I know there was times that, you all was sitting down there and I was talking to y'all. I was like, man, this guy, man, he's talking all this BS, man. Dion just, being Dion again, just telling us all of this stuff. And now it was like watching you come in and repeating a lot of stuff that I'm saying, but saying your own thing now. I'm like, okay, he went out and figure it out for yourself, because the other thing is you have to figure it out for yourself, and you have to go and test the waters and make sure that what we're saying and what we're doing is the right thing. And that's what I like about this program, because everybody's on the spot.
Yeah.
It's not just I'm coming in and teaching you and you get a grade, and it's no grades. The grade is can you get into college on a full scholarship? Can you get, these are the things in life that are going to put you to the test to make sure that you took the initiative to learn what we gave you, So I'm really happy to see you coming back doing this, and it's natural. It makes a lot of sense. So let me ask you this: now that you're coming back and doing all of this stuff and finding your way, mentoring, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years, that's an interesting question. I just took up production and I'm still playing the bass. So I really see myself in 10 years, hopefully having a well-balanced career, whatever that means. In 10 years, I know that that's not...
Balance, I'm away the production, I'm away playing, I'm away teaching, I'm away, you'll be doing everything.
I'm an acrobat, yeah.
You're an acrobat.
I'm going to try to be. So
try to be?
Yeah, and in the process learn and try to do the things that I love and put them all in a place where I could express it in a very effective way, because it is a lot.
Well, again, just like, you were saying, how do you get to your goals and get to your success, be an acrobat. You got to figure it out for you, and all of the things that you mentioned that you're doing are valid things, and it's the world of music. I mean, there's a lot of production going on, a lot of editing in that field, plus you got to play, you want to be out there on the scene playing and being one of the cats, and you still want to mentor. So all of this stuff makes sense, so it's good that you're thinking about that now.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy,
Nicole and her husband has been at this for 5 years. What they've done really is given a part of their life to our young people. Tonight, I think you've seen a sampling through the Jabari, the ability that these youngsters have. But in order to get them to a point where they're really professionals and can get a look at a future in music, they need a lot of support. And that's why we, from the beginning, and all the Priors and all the other folks, Dee and her organization, and all the West Indian Company and all, giving them exposure to be able to do what they need to get done in order to become very successful in life. Now, this series that will start with this beginning tonight will be every other night. And I would urge members of our community and all of you to return again, because members of these youngsters, the members of the organization, they're going to be different youngsters. It gives you an idea as to how professional these youngsters are coming, how professional they are, and the potential that they have for the Virgin Islands. We as a community, of course, will benefit because the names like a Dion, Parson, that's all over the world now, Tabari, that's going to be soon, or again, somebody that's recognized from the Virgin Islands. We derive many, many benefits as a territory. So my only plea to you is to continue to be supportive, continue to support these young people, and when I say support, not only financially, but physically, be here presently to applaud them as they really show their talent and show our appreciation for what they're doing for us. Thank you very much.
So why invest in this community and the young people?
Why not? Put it this way, I invested in you.
That's right.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
Glad that we met years ago?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I mean, not so much for me, but being able to make a change in your life and help assist you to be as successful as you can, that's part of it. That's part of giving back. That's part of mentoring. That's part of, apprenticeship. That's part of who I am. There's a lot the Virgin Islands have to offer. St. John, St. Croix, St. Thomas, all islands, there's a lot that the kids, the students, the young people, the young musicians, the talent, there's a lot of talent. You're away in the States, you went into Locking, at Berkeley, you traveled. We have a lot of talent here.
Yeah.
We have a lot of talent here. And nurturing talent is not easy. And being able to nurture talent to get to a certain level is not easy when you're 33 square miles and you don't have access to going to the next state and checking out a Philharmonic, or driving 3 miles to hear someone that you really admire play. We don't have those access to the limitations that we have here. in the islands, we have to overcome them a certain way. And by me giving back and deciding to invest in the community and invest in our young people means that our community, one, will strive, our culture will be sustained, we can maintain it, and we are bringing quality and we're raising the standards and the level of quality musicianship on the island. You know, one of the things I like to be able to see is that Ryko Center can book an artist and just bring that artist in, that a 30-piece entourage, and we have musicians here that can provide the services to play that gig or provide the entertainment with that artist. I would like to be able to see that. It happens all over the world. I go to Italy almost every year with Steve Torre, just Steve and I, and we just play with local musicians over there. And the level and quality is really good. So that's why it's important to invest in the community, invest in our young people, because we'll have more Tabaris.
I think it's a humbling experience, first of all, because it's not often that you get that opportunity to just be a part of one little instance where you can help this young man or young woman succeed in a whole nother level. So that in itself, I see the endless possibilities, and I'm grateful. Mr. Dion Parson and I have been working together for some years now, but this program, the VIA Youth Ensemble, has taken off on a whole nother level, and I appreciate that because it keeps me now abreast with everything that's going on. I got to go back in my books, so I got to call the connections I have at school, all my old professors. It keeps me going, and I love that. The kids now respond in a whole different way. My jazz band itself is growing in terms of quality. They want to do this. They want to learn the changes. They want to learn the progressions. And that in itself says you're respecting the craft a whole lot more than just playing that reggae tune that's on the charts right now. And I can brag because I'm loving Locked Away and that whole entire album that Rock City got going on. But to know that they want to play that and add their little spice to it, and because they know the changes, they can do that, that's a humbling experience. I know that they'll at least get to college, whether they're going to be the engineer or the architect or whatever. Music helped them get there, and it reaffirms their faith in something that's not necessarily concrete. It's just spontaneous, and I love that.
Without the work, the commitment, the talent, and the young people who participate in this initiative, CFEI would have no reason to exist. So for us, it's an honor to be a supporter of the work. And it's also a part of why we get up in the morning, why we're excited to be a part of this community, and why we're really happy to be here tonight and just to see a small sample of all of the work that's happening. And since I'm on the mic, I'm going to give one little plug, which is as much as they do, there is a program for young people to do jazz learning. It's your children from 3 years old to 8 years old that I have witnessed in this on our islands. And all I can say to you is that if we can figure out how to expand the work of Dion and Nicole by bringing it to our youngest young people, for me it would be perfect. So that's my plea. Thank you all.
Looking back then and looking now and seeing, how much you have grown and how much the program have grown, what are your feelings about the mentoring program?
It's a blessing. It's really a blessing, especially going to the States, going to the mainland, going to Interlochen and going to Berkeley and seeing what other people, what resources they have and the resources we didn't have until the program became a real thing. I watch the kids at the high school level now work with the people that come in, and I'm like, wow, that is what we really need to be successful as musicians, because if we don't, we'll be behind.
The mission of CFEI is to really enhance the lives of the people of the Virgin Islands, and we have a particular emphasis on working with children and families. And we have partnerships is how we accomplish what we do, and our partnerships are with not-for-profits, programs, and individuals who are doing important work in the community. So for the Community Foundation, it was a natural partnership with Mentoring Through the Arts of Music, because they are doing some groundbreaking work in the field of youth development. And that's really where we believe the future of the Virgin Islands lies. So they are working with students age 3 to probably 33, and helping bring quality programming and experience and training to a community which is a small community, so we don't always have the available expertise and training that Dion and Nicole have brought to the territory through their mentoring. And it's just, for us, it was a natural. So we have the Mentoring Through the Arts of Music Fund at CFEI, and through that we are able to help them with some of their infrastructure supports, so that we manage grants for them, we manage donations that we receive, we help them manage their the costs of their program, and we can do all of that without charging them any fees, because CFEI is blessed to have a network of angels, community members who make donations annually, so that we can do all of this work without ever charging a fee to our partners. So it's a real win-win, and we're just so excited about the work.
Knowing what you know now and coming from the Virgin Islands, being away in school, you're about to graduate from Berkeley College of Music, what is the toughest part about being a musician now in your generation? What do you think the toughest part about being a musician, specifically a young jazz musician?
I would say the toughest thing is staying focused. It is really hard with the amount of access we have to music from every crevice of the planet, to all the technology that's out there, and having hundreds of people, especially being at Berkeley, hundreds of people that are around me that do the same thing or something different. It's really hard to stay focused. And so it becomes a question of, okay, what do I love to do?
Right.
And then from there you branch off, and you may love to do a whole lot of stuff. And in that case, you just have to be real with yourself so that you can stay focused on the things that you want to do. Because
Just because there's a lot going on around you at the same time.
Yes, it's like the biggest candy shop in the world is music now, I think. Just because it's all free, it's all online. You could pick it up and go do it. So staying focused would be that thing.
Okay. So staying focused on that is a good thing. I have another question for you. Interesting question is, where do you see or where would you like the arts to be in the territory, or what changes would you like to see in the Virgin Islands concerning the arts?
I would like to see a bigger and stronger relationship between the community and artists, that specifically local artists, as they do their craft. Going back to what you were saying before, having venues for people to showcase what they have, and also incorporating the culture of the Virgin Islands into it, understanding the legacy that we have of musicians that have come from tens of years ago, and trying to maintain that tradition and having an understanding in the role that we play as artists as we serve the community. So I would say we as artists have to know our role and carry what we do in such a manner, and the community has to be open to what it is that we do.
It's a give and take.
It's a give and take.
Yeah. Well, it's good talking to you, and it's good, to see that you are doing the great things that you're doing, and keep up the good work. And I'm looking forward to our continued work within the mentoring program, and also looking forward to some of the good ideas you have to bring for us.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Gotta do it.